Hello, everybody. It's me, Pacific. Why am I laughing? Because I heard something funny. Burn the Ender, you cracked me up with your burn original phrase, the hamster Olympics. He was talking about the gays and the feminists that, you know, how they get so activist oriented. I wanted to do this video, and I want to talk about men going their own way. MGTOW. A viewer wrote in and asked me what I thought of the movement. Now, before I get into the video, let me give you a preface, if you will, and say, one, I can't criticize the movement. And I'll tell you why. Our American culture right now is causing a backlash. Anytime you have things going on in a culture that aren't right, there's a pendulum swing. Tick, tock. And every time that pendulum comes this way, it bashes into a bunch of people over here, and then it bashes into a bunch of people over here. That being said, men have gotten tired of feminism. Irate, angry, combative, entitled, in your face, I'm going to stand up for my rights. Women that are shunning, snubbing, and being rude to males. Why would I criticize a movement where a bunch of men are starting to say, you know what, we're done? Now let me say something. The men going their own way are not gay. Do not believe in practicing bisexual or gay stuff. They're men who have just said, you know what, I don't need women anymore. And they're walking away from American females. Did all of them want love from a woman? Most of them that have entered the movement were looking for it and failed to find. Was the failure their fault? I don't believe so. American women in this country have gotten so picky, so ridiculous, that they're just ignoring and writing off good, wholesome men. Men who don't do drugs and party and smoke and drink and beat up people and cover themselves in tattoos and smoke pot and sit on their butt. You asked me to explain to you why American females choose dipstick, lazy bum, troll, butthead males. Yeah, let me say that one more time, because I haven't heard it in a while since Beavis and Butthead. Butthead males. And there's a lot of butthead males in American society. It is true that a lot of butthead males gave a lot of women the fuel and the impetus to be as angry and feminist as they are. Let me say that one more time. There are a lot of butthead American males that have helped promote and push women into the rage that they're in today. Are all men responsible for this? No. Can all women use that as an excuse? No. The reason women are doing this is it appeals to their innate, selfish narcissism. I've got power and I can use it. Do you notice how women dress slutty and smutty in today's culture? But yet, they use that as a weapon against us. When they need something from us, they work that magic and they just sashay right up to us. But when they don't need us, they are cold as an iceberg. Sexuality has become a weapon because they know. I sat down when I was married to my wife for 14 years. We were invited to dinner by a couple, a vivacious redhead woman. They were older now. She was with her husband. They were both elderly. She was still a knockout in her 60s. And this is what she said. I knew the power I had over men, and I used it. I used it to get whatever I wanted, and I would deliberately target men that were strong and would ignore me. And pretty soon, they'd be sucking at her breast. I was like, oh my gosh. Then she became a Christian, and because of reading the Bible and walking with Christ, she was convicted to say, you know what, I need to stop this. I have watched something at work. My workplace is a good lab experiment. Do I got toilet paper on my... I hate it when I get toilet paper on my thing from blowing my nose, you know. But at least it's better than walking out with a big piece hanging out of your pants after you leave the restroom. That's never happened to me, but I've heard of some women doing that. How utterly embarrassing. So, here's something I've observed. My workplace is diverse. Black, Mexican, Spanish, white, male, female. I want to tell you something. I watch good-looking women. They'll be nice to somebody when they want something, and they'll snub them all other times. So I started an experiment. The really good-looking women at work, I don't talk to them, I don't look at them, I ignore them. I'm noticing it's getting to them. Are you mad at me? You don't talk to me anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like Burn the Ender said, you can get in trouble in the workplace. If I speak my mind in the workplace the way I am on this YouTube videos, I can guarantee you I will be in the unemployment line right now. Does Pacific chameleonize himself when he goes to work? Nope. But I use the same body language there that I'd use on this YouTube, and I communicate to those people, you know what? Y'all want to make your little comments and this and that? I don't care. People are learning there that Pacific has had enough. I've talked to a few quality people that work there and said, man, there's something wrong with these people in here. People can't even get along with each other. We got a woman who's in her 60s, maybe 50s. Her son's a cop. She's got to be close to 400 pounds. Walks with a limp. She's a complete and utter crap. She's been there for so many years. She considers herself a senior driver. She is rude and unpleasant. I don't talk to her. I don't speak to her at all. One day the dispatcher was looking me right in the eye and said, I've had 30 people call in today because it's 14 below. And she was angry. And I said, you know what? They need to start firing people that are just calling in because it's too cold. This big, fat, beautiful woman walks right up to me, and let me tell you, she's anything but pretty in any sense of the word. She's as butch as they come. She looks me right in the eye with this hard, crusty, steely-eyed look and says, Jesus! And I didn't think on my feet fast enough. I wanted to say, oh, you know him too, isn't he wonderful? And I thought, if you'd have said that, she would have just went, The other day, somebody came up and said, what is your name again? I forgot. I said, you know what? Just call me Pacific. That's what my friends call me. She's standing in line behind this person, shakes her head, goes, I wanted to say, acting out over there? Do you have a problem? I don't know what I've done. But she hates my guts. All I have to do, and this was said to me by a very close friend years ago. Duluth, Minnesota, he says, you're a lightning rod. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he says, I'm not putting you down. He said, but I've never met a person like you that just, you being you, really seems to cause problems. I'm not boasting about me. I'm not saying I have some special corner on this. There's other people who have the same problem. But it is true. If I decide that I've had enough of somebody and had an earful of them, I just kind of tune them out and I'll go stand on the other side of the room. How come you're not talking to me? Because you're a flirt and tease and I'm tired of it. I'm not into that. Leave me alone. That's what I want to say. I just say, you know what? I'm in a funk today, that's why. There's a woman who thinks she's hot stuff. Hispanic woman, hot, wears tight-fitting sweaters, and I've had it up to here with the Hispanic save your drama for your mama, because they're all about drama, and they're just conceited. One woman has flirted with me, come on to me. We even went to breakfast one day because we both had an excursion downtown Denver, and we went into some nice grill and just ate. And I said, you know what? I'll buy you lunch or breakfast just as friends. She claims to be a Christian. She's very good looking for her age, and then she'll whine to me about all these guys. And I said, why don't you date me? Oh, no, Pacific, I wouldn't date somebody younger than me. She's 6 years older than me. But then she'll go on motorcycle rides and ask a guy to go on a bike ride with her, and then the guy starts coming on her and she gets upset. Say, did you tell him you just want to be platonic? Well, no. The other day I'm mopping my bus. They put mag chloride on the roads here, which is horrible. It's eating my truck alive. I have to wash it as soon as the weather warms up to get the stuff off. It's just terrible stuff. They put it to melt ice. Well, it's a white residue, and they track it in on the bus floor, and the floor just gets all stained, and you can sweep the bus, but it doesn't get the stains out. So I got a hot mop bucket in the mop room down by the fuel pumps, mopped my bus 3 times, got it all spiffy shine. She comes over and she goes, hey, my bus is number so-and-so, and it's parked over there. You can do mine when I'm done. And I said, what are you going to do for me? She goes, well, I just thought you could do that as my Christmas present. I said, you know what? When you want to do something for me, let me know, and then maybe I'll give you consideration. She walked away. That is the symbol of today's American woman. It is. It is. What can you do for me? Lady, you want to give me a massage and fix me lunch? Shoot, I'll do your boss. Am I wrong for that? Absolutely not. Is everything about sex? Women say, all guys want is sex. Well, all women want is money and for us to help them and us to be there when they're weak. But what are they giving us? Nothing. Let me tell you about a discussion I had on an excursion yesterday. A bunch of kids went to go see a play in Arvada, Colorado, and there was a bunch of us drivers. It was cold, so we all grouped on one bus. We're sitting there talking. And a very good-looking black woman, yes, with the attitude and the body language. She actually turned out to be pretty nice to me, but she's guarded as all get out. And in the course of conversation, sure enough, it didn't take long for it to come up about the racist whites. She wasn't talking about me. And I thought, why is it when anything happens with a black person, it's the whites are racist? That always is worked into the conversation with a lot of black women. All the whites are against them. So I tried something. I said, you know what? I really like your hair. It's beautiful style, and it is. She goes, thank you, thank you. I noticed she started to soften a little bit. Then as we talked, I don't know, the subject came up about dating, and I said, she was telling me that at her terminal there's so many affairs going on, married men, married women, and she called it an FUCK fest going on over there. I said, oh my gosh. I said, isn't that funny? I said, I'm single, I want a guy, or I'm available to date, and nobody wants to date me, but they'd rather fool around with married people. And then she says, well, I wouldn't date anybody from where I work. I said, really, why? And she goes, because I don't want to date a bus driver, because I know they're poor just like me. And I thought, oh, here we go. So I said, so what do you mean by that? I wanted to draw her out, and she goes, shoot, I want a man who's got some money. I said, so it's not about love, is it? And the driver who was sitting in her seat says, well, love is in there. And I said, but... I said, what if you met a nice guy that you really enjoyed being around and you're both working? Shoot, man, I want a guy that's got medical benefits so I can get on his medical benefits and stuff. And I said, what if you can't? And the other lady standing there said, you know, we live in different times. That's not reality. The other lady is a Hispanic woman, and she's married her husband. She's very nice, always upbeat. And this black woman's slender and good looking. 30 years old. But as we talked, I thought, yep, she wants a man. She said, I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm not interested in dating a bus driver. They can't do nothing for me. First of all, that statement is a complete and utter lie. The man's working. What she fails to realize is when 2 incomes are combined into one, you have 2 people paying the rent instead of just one, so you have extra money. I was married for 14 years. And I will tell you that we had more slush fund money than I do now as a single guy. Why? Because you have 2 incomes coming in. When you can fix meals for 2 people instead of 1, things go further. And I still believe in an old principle that when you do things God's way, He tends to bless you. That's just my observation in life. And here's a good-looking black woman, but she's got that stinky, selfish, nasty, what's in it for me attitude. That's why men are going their own way. Can I criticize a movement for doing that? No. Are they protesting? Are they screaming? Are they changing policy in public schools and screaming and yelling on the media? No, they're minding their own business. The feminists, newspapers, other people are attacking them, and it's calling them Peter Pan syndrome. Isn't that funny? Group of men quietly minding their own business. They're not up there yelling and screaming and blowing their horns and doing the hamster Olympics, as Byrne says. They've chosen to say, you know what, we're checking out of this whole problem. We're going to our work, we're going to our private little worlds, and we're just not going to deal with this. How can I criticize that? For me, I can't go my own way. I'm too relationally oriented, and I like women. But I will tell you something. I may end up being there just because of the way women are today. I'll be very bold. And all the trolls will go, yeah, because you're a loser with thick glasses. Ah. Shut up, butthead. I like that word, by the way. I haven't used that since the 90s. The other day under my breath, somebody cut me off, and I thought, what a butthead. And I laugh because it's funny. Picture some guy walking around with a big crack down the middle of his head. I'm like, you know. I remember when I was in school, the ultimate put down, somebody would be yelling at somebody on the playground and taunting, and the other guy would say, what did you say? Pull down your pants. I can't hear you. Love that put down. I'm like, if I were to say that in a workplace today, I'd probably get fired. You know what? Teachers never even said anything that were the playground monitors. They just shook their head and goes, oh, brother. How come the gays can get butthurt, and the feminists can get butthurt, and everybody can get butthurt, but we're not allowed to? Men going their own way? More power to them. Let them. So what? For me, I like a woman. I want to be with a woman, but because of the way women are today, I might end up being alone anyway. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather be alone than put up with all the BS and collateral damage and flotsam and jetsam and wreckage that women are just contributing. I have really narrowed this down. From the break room to right here to all in our society. The problems mostly come from females. The arguing, the bickering, the fussing, the tattling, the complaining, I'm offended, somebody said something. That fat, ugly, nasty woman at work has shook her head many times when I'm standing in the employee line. We have to punch in, hand the time card to dispatch who gives us our keys. They did that because drivers were losing keys. You don't get your time card until you produce the keys to the bus. Good idea. But it gets pretty congested and you got 200 people filing in there. It gets pretty crazy. This woman glares at me, makes dirty looks. Yesterday, I came up behind her and she's hobbling along and I'm giving her a wide berth. I was going to go and pass her and I thought, no, don't do that. She'll probably sneer and manifest and show the evil come out of her again. So I stayed back. Another driver comes up, hey man, how you doing, man? I said, good, how are you? She hears my voice, she slams on the brakes, rolls around, and I thought, perfect. And I just zipped right around her, like, you know what? Thanks for stopping, I'm out of here. She sits at a table with a bunch of women that probably are all dykes. One of them is for sure. The others are old. They're weird. One day, one of those women comes up and starts lifting up the other woman's skirt and poking her butt. And I was standing in the employee line. I said, man, are you touching her butt? She turned around. I'm not touching her butt. I said, hey, I was just kidding. I didn't know what you were doing over there. Explosive. And she was. I don't know if she was straightening out her nylons or what, but whatever. It looked really weird. They can say whatever they want. And I'll tell you what, if she keeps it up, I'll turn around and say, do you have a problem? Because you've done this several times. You make some comment, you give me dirty looks. Do you have a problem that we need to go to the supervisor about? I'll bet you she's going to just come undone. Why would men want to pursue these kind of women? Another viewer wrote me and said 35 to 50-year-old women. No, let's drop it down to the late 20s. I'm going to say something that's going to really get me in trouble with some of my antagonists out there. I'm starting to believe that the only hope for man is to date a woman who's much younger than them, who's still naive and simple, so that we can kind of, I'm going to be very honest, mentor them the right direction. I'm not talking about controlling and raping and doing things that bad men do, but getting them away from that feminist schooling. Dating women our age, they're wrecked, they're ruined, and they're no good, and they're a liability, and they're not an asset. I don't care how much money they have, how many degrees they have. Marrying today's 30-plus-year-old American women is a waste of time. Would I date somebody who's 19 years old or 18? Yes, I would. People go, oh my gosh, that's shocking, you're a bus driver. So what? Would I date a student on my bus? No. First of all, it's nobody's business what age I choose to date. As long as I'm following the law and the rules, that's between me and her. But I'm starting to see that the young people are being affected by the old people, and they have become very selfish. And to find a young girl who's a cut above is getting tough, though I have had some young girls eyeball me who are nice. I'm starting to focus my direction on much younger than me. To be specific, 20 plus years younger than me, because I'm tired. 30-year-old on up. You get most American women in their 40s, they are bitchy, they are combative, they are rude, they are cynical, and they're so jaded. I was thinking about the scripture the other day where it says, I'm not sure one of my viewers can find this, and if I had to pull out my commentary, I could find it. It says, I will take your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Do you notice that we're not seeing people with a heart of flesh in American culture anymore? Primarily women? Christian women. Combative, argumentative, bitchy, entitled. Even they are saying, well, I want a man who can take care of me, a godly man who makes a good income. And where does it say that in here, women? Where do you get off in the Bible that you're all that in a bag of chips and we're supposed to serve you your soda on a buffet tray? It doesn't say that in there. Are you raising the children today? No, you throw them in daycare. You're not even fulfilling your female obligations from a scriptural perspective. Don't tell me you want a godly man. Why would a godly man want to get involved with you? You're not very godly. You're a biatch. Sorry. American women are going to have to wake up, and they're not going to wake up until the pendulum swings the other way, which is starting to. Men are dating foreign women. Men are tired of it. Men are going their own way, and more of us are speaking out. It's okay for the feminist movement to start, but it's not okay for the manliness movement to start. Well, it's starting, honey, and we're just getting going. I've noticed something. My videos where I'm dealing with women, almost all of them have no thumbs down. And the only ones that do is the rabid feminist that wanders onto my site and goes, uh-oh, I don't belong in this room. Yeah, excuse me, we're having a meeting in here. Quietly shut the door and carry on. The feminists are not welcome to my site. They have no business on here. I have a right to my personal man cave, and this is my site to be man cave. And this site is available for women that want to have an open mind and are intelligent and enough to take stock and say, you know, he's saying truth. Am I anti-female? Of course not. Sheesh. My whole life I've spent pursuing ladies, and I like to treat them with respect and kindness and love. If they got a problem with what I say, then go on. Go watch Britney Spears and her latest breast implants, or some ding-dong out there with her shoulder pads bouncing from side to side, spending $50 million at the mall until her husband jumps off the 7th floor to his death because he spent 5 hours shopping. That happened in China just recently. Chinese girl was dragging her man around, boyfriend around, saying, or was it a husband or boyfriend? 5 hours. He finally said, you know, you have enough shoes and enough clothes. I'm done. Let's go. No, a couple more hours. He finally got so frustrated he jumped. I don't know why he did that. Me, it would have been easy. I would have said, you know what? I got a great idea. I'm going to get my truck. You go to the mall, and I'm going home. My date with you is over. I've seen enough. I don't want to be with a shopaholic. I don't want to live my life in a shopping bag. I'm out of here. Date's over. See ya. And I would. So if you want to ride home, you're going to have to take it from me now because I'm not coming back, okay? So if you refuse to ride, don't say that I dumped you. I'll give you a ride and your stuff to be polite, but that's it. Deal breaker. Yes, Pacific will be a gentleman in the end. I have to. How can I criticize a movement of men that have had enough? Is Pacific a man going his own way? Yeah, in some ways I am. Do I still flirt with the ladies? Yeah, unfortunately, I end up flirting with women that you spend time talking to them and they're a royal pain in the butt. I don't like what is going on. And I've created my own manifesto, if you will. I will not tolerate, listen to, or put up with any woman trying to have authority over me. I'm not talking about bosses and supervisors. Nothing I can do about that. But coworkers like that woman who wanted to yell and start talking in this authoritative, it's like, whoa, lady, let me make something crystal to you. You have no authority over me. Ooh, they hate that. You're a chauvinist. No, I'm not chauvinist. You have your place and I have mine. You go talk that way to your husband. See how far you get. Don't you dare talk to me that way. You have no authority. You have invalidated yourself. Women do not have authority over Pacific. They do not. They try. My ex-wife's been doing it for years. The only way you can deal with women like that is don't talk to them anymore and shut them out. Let them spin in their own little cyclonic delusion. Because all they're doing is tearing up trailer parks. Get away from them. Don't get close to tornadoes. Don't get anywhere near them. Leave them. Hamster Olympics. I'm sorry, that's so funny. You know what? I pictured that right away, you know, on the wheels. And that's what the activist community does. You say something that offends them and sound the alarm. 911, do you have an emergency? Somebody said something about homosexuality. Oh, okay, relax. We'll send the authorities there. Hang on, just stay on the line. It's okay. Please stay on the line. It's ridiculous. Homosexuals need to grow up. What, you're exempt from being butthurt? I'm butthurt every day. What are you doing to fight for my right? What about the lesbian teacher or lesbian boss that fired a guy because he was a traditional husband and he was coming to work every day? Like Burns said, where was the outrage about that? You think gays don't discriminate? You betcha they do. The gay community is very discriminatory, very prejudiced. And in this wonderful society called America, affirmative action allows nitwits to be hired for jobs just because of their color or their female status, not because of any merit at all. We've got a nation full of working people under affirmative action that aren't worth 10 cents in the workplace. In my workplace, we have a supervisor who is black, who is the cousin of one of the head bosses. She did not earn the position at all, and in her daily carrying out, her drivers that are under her are disgusted with her. She doesn't deal with the problems. She's favoritist. She's only nice to the black people. She's overweight, got a big dumpy butt, and a big dumpy gut. She talks in this voice like this, and she's very nasally, and gets on the radio, and I'm like, listen to that woman. Who the frick hired that as a poster child of leadership? That's what feminism is doing to our country. That's what feminism is doing to our country. Men going their own way aren't shouting and screaming. They're quietly saying, we're done. Feminists can't leave people alone. Gays can't leave people alone. Liberals can't leave people alone. I'm still waiting for somebody to shut me down. I'm amazed they haven't done it yet. I guess because I'm not big enough. But I'm learning the hard way at work. The modern American workplace is dangerous. It's like walking around in Bosnia in a landmine-infested field, not knowing that where your step could be the next and last. I'm going to tell you something. When people tell me that this is a great nation, and I go to work and I'm fearful, and when that woman started in, I thought, man, she'd probably go to management and tell that I was talking about God and this. It's like, no, wait a minute. Stop and analyze this. You're safe. You didn't harass her. She butted into your conversation. It wasn't about her. You're safe, dude. But that's what's happened. She's got people walking on eggshells. And don't kid yourself. American business, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Virginia, Minnesota, got a bunch of gays and lesbians in there. The head man of Blue Cross Minnesota was gay, flaming gay. They promoted the homosexual lifestyle. They posted the gay pride events and the gays and lesbians task force. But when a couple of women went and wanted to have a Christian Bible study in a conference room and got permission, they said, no, we can't do that. That's offensive. It's in the conference room. The gays can... No. America is very discriminatory, very racist, very sexist. But they define political correctness that you can't say anything about the gays and you can't say anything about women. But it's open season on those that have Christian faith. It's open season on conservatives. It's open season on people who believe the gay lifestyle is sinful or wrong. Even Bernie Ender said he didn't have a problem with the gay lifestyle. He's not gay himself. But he said, why is it that an opposing viewpoint can't speak out? I'm paraphrasing. Because the gays are not happy until they have total domination. Same with the feminists. The men going their own way aren't looking for total domination. Pacific is not looking for total domination. I have no interest in controlling women. My ex-wife used to tell me that. You're a control freak. And I said, you know what? We were married for 14 years. You got your paycheck. You went to the mall. You spent your money all the time. And I would simply bring up a conversation, but I never said, I want your paycheck. You're going to... I never controlled any of that. She was hardly ever home. And when she was, she wanted to lay around in bed in pajamas all day. I was always doing stuff. I was always a go-getter. Just the other day I was at work, I was typing on the keyboard, had to write up a student, and people constantly go, gosh, look at how fast he's going on that keyboard. Somebody said, I can't believe the energy that guy has. It's amazing. Nobody in that workplace has the energy that Pacific has. Am I boasting? A little bit. Because it doesn't matter. Most of them look at me as if though I'm a piece of flotsam. I work with a lot of loser people. Sorry. Trailer trash people. Jerks. I never thought I'd say this. A lot of people driving our buses have no business being in any position with our children. They're rude. Their social skills suck. They yell and scream at the kids on the bus. They're not the greatest drivers. But when you have a turnover rate as high as we do, employers can't be picky. We got people that have been working there for 20, 25 years that shouldn't have made it past year one. They're so bitter and angry. And I think, where is management? They just put down a policy effective January 1st, 2014, that if people miss 5 days or more, they're fired. You ought to hear the howling now. And I understand part of the howling for people like me who aren't absent. What if I got some fluke illness that lasted an entire week? Guess what? I'm out of a job. What's happened is we have 30 people calling in when it's 14 below. When we have payday falls on a Thursday, nobody comes in on Friday. I shouldn't say nobody, but a bunch of people call in on Friday. If there's a Broncos game, people call in. Yesterday, we've got 2 weeks off with no pay. Yesterday, people called in. They do this just before vacation. Gosh, they need another day off. They do that because they can use their sick pay day. Sick pay is for sick. But no, they're liars, they're cheaters. I don't feel good, I'm not coming in. Yeah, they're in their car running around town, burning up their last paycheck, and then coming in on Monday morning going, I don't have any money. You ought to hear how many of those women go to Central City and blow half their paycheck in hopes of striking it rich. Central City is a casino, for those of you that aren't familiar with Colorado. And I just look at all this stuff and I go, yep, but these are the enlightened ones. These are the feminist women. These are the liberated women. They're rude, they're mean, they're nasty. The good-looking ones are stuck up, stuck on themselves. It's like you're driving a bus. Why do you think you're so cool, Beans? You're in the same plane we are. There's a lot of women who've been teasers. Come up, how you doing? And they're nice, and I've stopped talking to them. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of pee-pee pullers and women that tease and lead on. And people are coming up and saying, I noticed that you're kind of you're not. How did they say it? They said, I noticed you're not talking to a lot of people. And I said, you know what? It's safer to keep my mouth shut in here because I'm here to do my job, not get fired over you all. No, I haven't been called in the office. I was called in the office to talk about a woman who started a problem with me. Everybody witnessed it. And fortunately, the boss saw right through what was going on and said, well, you know, she's a little. And I said, you think? Boss shouldn't have even said that to me, but it still made me feel good that at least I'm not the only one who saw that. So no action was taken against me. Sit at a table, minding my own business yesterday, get into a discussion that other people opened up, and a girl's chewing my butt. And I'm like, yeah, you can't sit in that break room. There's some guys that they come in, there's a black guy, he's very nice. He comes in, punches in, grabs his keys, and goes. I said, good morning, how you doing? Good, sir, how are you? He does not hang out in there. There's a few people. Me, I hang out because it's far to go home. I'm in the West Burbs. So I hang out so I don't waste gas making 2 trips a day back and forth when I don't have field trips. It's too cold to sit out in the truck. I'm not going to run my engine to keep the heat. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks when I'm a people person and you go into this break room and it's like, ugh, I think today I'm going to go to the Asian restaurant for lunch. That'll burn up an hour. I wish there was a gathering place, somewhere you could go. And that's the thing about Denver that sucks. The only place to go is the malls, and everybody's obsessed with shopping. You know, I missed that about Lake Superior in Duluth. I used to go down to a park, and there'd be college gals down there and people, and you could just sit on a rock and start conversating on a summer day. Of course, those days are getting tougher to find, and I still got the California beach mentality. Go to the beach, hang out, and there's how many people there, and somebody's going to talk to you. We don't have that in Denver. You're forced or funneled into the nightclubs and bars, the malls, and everybody loves their automobile. Wow, isn't that fun? I can get my car and drive around and be a butthead all day and cut everybody off, and I've got my independence. No thanks. I love to drive, but I love to get out of the vehicle and park my truck and just go home. And be out there with a bunch of fools on the road. I wanted to walk today, but I thought, it's too cold to walk. I don't want to go to the mall because it's pagan mass time and it's filled with a bunch of fools buying more stuff than they need and getting in debt for that. No thanks. I cannot criticize men going their own way. They have every right to, and I applaud them. They're quiet, they're not activistic, and they're just tired of it. Good for you. For me, I still want a woman. But I'm coming more and more to the conclusion that I may not find it. I may not find it in this culture. When I say American women are wrecked, I'm talking 99.9%. The 0.01% I don't know where they are. There's a few of them that write me on YouTube, and they're good people. They're married, so that's out. But I'll tell you what, this problem is real. Feminists have had the upper hand for so long, and they're not liking it or taking it very kindly that men are getting intellectual and waking up about their BS, because that's all it is. I have nothing to criticize about MGTOW. Can't do it. Not going to. I find no fault for it. People ask me, well, is that biblical? It's certainly not unbiblical. If a man can control his sexual urges and say, you know what, I don't need this. Self-control is very encouraged in the Bible. I don't think it's unbiblical at all. It says it's better to marry than to burn with passion. Now, I would submit, because I've had a few men from MGTOW who says, well, we believe in still dating a woman, but we just don't feel that we need one. I'm not sure of all the tenets of the movement, but some men even think it's okay to look at porn. I would submit that no. If you're truly going to go your own way, stop looking at porn. Don't date women for the purpose of having sex. Go away from all of it. Get control of your sex feelings and just say, you know what? It's not easy to do. That's why Pacific can't go that way. Because if I'm going to truly go my own way, that means I shut off my sex drive and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm not trying to be crude and TMI, but my sex drive is too high for that. I like a woman. There's no way I can go through life celibate my whole life. But yes, American women have finally garnered for themselves the title of complete liability. I don't listen to the women who rail and say, well, men have been abused. You know what? I've heard all that for 50 years now, folks. Women don't believe they're wrong. Women don't listen to truth. They're activistic, emotionalistic, and they are ready for war. I see it every day. We got a break room. 99.9% of the problems are caused by females. I had this discussion with a driver from the other terminal yesterday. We both have the same afternoon school. She goes, it's true in my terminal too. It's the women that cause all the problems. She was telling me about the black women she sat next to. One of the women that I knew from the 90s when I worked at this place, she's always been a pain in the butt. Big, fat, black woman, more butch than lady. She told my friend, well, you're friends with that person over there, so you go sit at her table. These women are older than me, and when somebody befriends somebody at another table that they don't like, you're done in their book. That's happened to me. Last year, there's a mean lady in there. She's loudmouth, thinks she's all that in a bag of chips, but she is kind to me. Somebody said, oh, I see you're talking to so-and-so. I said, yeah, she's nice to me. She's a biatch. I said, yeah, I know that. But she hasn't done anything to me, and they stopped talking to me. Women are catty, they're immature, and I'm not going to play that game because Pacific has no international boundaries. And I'm proud of that fact. I live in Denver, Colorado, and most of the people in that break room have never been to a foreign country at all. And yet if you sit down and talk to them, they know all about Asian women, and all Asian women are scam artists. How do you know that? Western women. When people are going after something else, Western women suddenly become self-appointed experts in matters of foreign women and this and that. And they come back with nasty, hateful, false comments. You're just going after the Asians because you can't get anybody. Maybe you ought to look at yourself. You're a loser. Just that statement alone, why would I even look at a woman like that? I'm a loser because I can't get a date in America? Really? I go to work every day. I'm not in debt. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm not obese. I still got a set of moves. I still got muscle. I'm still a good-hearted guy. Is it really me? No, it's you women. Don't criticize men going their own way. You guys have brought this on yourselves. You guys are becoming lesbian in the shiploads. Who wants to marry a woman who fights all the time and argues and is flexing her puny little muscle that sags down to here and says, I'm going to stand up for my rights? Sheesh, your husband's not allowed to stand up for his rights when his bank account's going down the toilet because of your spending habits? I cannot criticize men going their own way. Can't do it. What I can say is I will definitely criticize the feminist and the gay movement. They're causing a lot of trouble. They're making a lot of noise. They're changing policies that are slamming down on those of us that want nothing to do with either of those movements. I don't think that's very fair. But America's all about taking away the rights of the good guys. It's all about empowering and entitling. My supervisor told me yesterday that back 30 years ago, because people were running stop signs so much in Denver, Denver has a real problem. It always has. We used to pull our bus and tilt it just enough to block the whole intersection when we had kids getting off so that they get off safely and the traffic can't go. Well, the city some years ago said you can't do that anymore. Why is it that government makes all these rules favoring the scofflaws and then coming down on us who have safety at stake? Because that's America. America's on a self-destruct mode. They want people to become gay. They want people to be feminist. They want people to be racist. They want people to be unsafe because they want everything out of control, because then it's easier for a hostile takeover. It's easy for some leader to come up and put his iron fist down and say, guess what? I'm controlling the whole show. Obama's a classic example of that with this healthcare thing. Did you hear his speech yesterday? The anger? People want to resist this? We're going to push back. He's a tyrant, folks. America is not into freedom. That is a lie and a smokescreen. America is heading towards bondage. Those that will not govern themselves will be governed. That is a belief I've always had, and we are seeing it. Americans are running around saying, I'm doing whatever I want. They're addicted. They're stuck on materialism, stuck on stupid, and they're ignorant of what is coming. Have I just made a hint? Pacific believes that America is in big trouble, and it's coming. How? When? I don't know. But we are a rebellious, fist in the face of God nation, and God is not going to tolerate this forever. The way women are acting today is totally contrary to Scripture, including most Christian women that are full of themselves and sniffing their own underarms and believing such atrocious lies about themselves, us, and everybody. Women cannot find any basis in here to argue, take on, fight, and rise above males. They can't find it in there. That's why they're saying Paul was a chauvinist. You think God's sitting there just looking at this going, wow, I'm glad women are finally waking up and getting enlightened? I don't think so. Women are abandoning their children in the shiploads. They're not nurturing them. They put them in daycare so they can buy their own SUV and pay for $500 iPhones. Give me a break. Men going their own way and they're criticizing that. You women don't want us anyway, so leave us alone. I'm not interested in dating any women my age. I look at women that are 47, 40s. They don't look good. And their heart is just nasty. I'm not even looking at my age or older. Waste of time. But what's happening is these women are going through life and they're aging and their breasts are sagging. They're getting wrinkles here and there. And all of a sudden they're looking at a guy like me going, wow, he's still good looking. Sorry, not interested. You snubbed us 50 years or 20, 30 years ago. It's too late now. Now you're not attractive anymore. I'm still in my prime. I'm not going to go after somebody who looks like beef jerky on a stick. Am I being rude? Perhaps. But these women need to be told reality 101. They're running around mouthing off and saying stuff. You know how many times I hear women in the break room say, boy, if you don't watch it, I'll kick your ass. Where's management when the woman says that? That's a threat. If a guy were to walk in the room and say that to the women, he would be called in and fired. Don't tell me this isn't a female-dominated society. Women can give me dirty looks and say God's name in vain in front of my face. I could go in and push that issue. She's offending my religious beliefs, and they have to honor that. I didn't, because I thought, you know what, my God's bigger than that woman, and my God isn't obese. That woman is miserable, and misery loves company, and that's what I have to tell myself every day. There will come a point, if she doesn't knock it off, I'm going to confront and say, do you have a problem that we need to go to the supervisor because you're always giving dirty looks and making snide remarks, and I'm going to tell you it needs to stop. And if it doesn't, I'm going to complain. I have no problem getting your 25-year-old fat ASS out the door because you don't belong here anyway. I've had it. Men going their own way, good for you. Pacific's not there yet, but that doesn't mean the movement is fallacious. Do I believe it's God's will for marriage and one man, one woman? Yes, I do. But in this broken world, not all of us have measured up to that either. I've had 3 women I was married to, and they all turned out to be exactly the videos that have been the impetus for my subject on this whole feminism. We've heard long enough about how everything's the male's fault. That tide is turning. Women have refused to listen to truth for the last 40 years. Women have actually set themselves up to believe that they're goddesses just because of their looks or their boobies, and it's not true. We have been led to believe that a good-looking woman is mature. No, no, no. Most good-looking women today are as immature as a teenage girl. We already know about the obese diet club, eat a salad club. They are rude, they are crude, they are in your face, and they've got all the company and support of their fat, furry friends. Well, I'm a little bit chunky, and if you don't like it, move on. We have, ladies. We have. In my post, if I dare to go on the dating sites, if you can't handle the fact I'm an honest male who tells the truth, even if it means standing up to a woman who's wrong, move on. Why is it women have been allowed to just bash, but men are finally speaking up? Not bashing, but stating facts. And boy, the feminists are mad as hornets after Pacific took a stick and went to the nest. I did that before. It's great fun, but you better get out of there quick. I took a stick at a camp, whacked a beehive. Oh my gosh, actually it was a hornet's nest. And the minute I hit that and took off, you start speaking truth in American culture about the gay community, the lesbians, and the liberals, you're going to stir up a hornet's nest, and it will not quit, and you better get far away or you're going to get stung. And they've got rights now. You're not allowed to criticize them. They can criticize us, but they're hypocrites, folks. The gay community, the lesbian, and the liberal community are hypocrites. They are trying to censor us and shut us down. That's harassment. That's discrimination. That's sexist. They don't want to be told that, but that's the truth. I thank God that I'm able to still make videos and talk about this stuff. I don't care what the gays say. They may be able to censor me in the workplace and all that, but they cannot censor me in my own time. I can put whatever sticker I want on the back of my truck. I can listen to what I want, and I can espouse the views that I believe in my heart. And if they don't like it, they can get off my channel and go away. Go tune into your screwed up networks that you favor. Don't waste your time with me. I'm not interested in people who don't want to change. I'm interested in people who want to change. I'm interested in people who are seeking truth. Not a bunch of dyed-in-the-wool, rabid feminists, gays, lesbians, liberals, anti-God people. No thanks. My channel does not cater to you, nor should it, nor will it. This is Pacific's man cave. Lady here hasn't watched my channel. She goes, I think you should do this. And I said, no. I said, this is my channel. I do things my way. If she were to watch my video, she'd be outraged. She's a Christian woman. She would not like my channel. And I said to her, I said, this is my world, and I'm not going to involve you in that world. This is Pacific's man cave. Are women allowed in this man cave? Yes. Women that are thinking, intelligent, and kind. Feminists are not allowed in my man cave unless they're calling out for help and need to be converted to truth, sane thinking, intelligence, and yes, a belief in the Creator. Okay. Men going their own way. Keep doing what you're doing. Glad you guys can do that. I wish I had that capacity inside where I just said, I don't need a woman anymore. But I do. I was thinking, I've got 2 weeks off. Nobody to hang out with. Sucks. It's going to get boring. I've got some projects to do around here, but yeah, our society is not very liberating and enlightened. Let me tell you. I have 2 weeks off. Most people will be rejoicing at that. There's nothing to do. I don't shop. I don't drink. And I'm not going to connect with women, by and large. When I say I want to go to Asia, there's a reason for that. Because women looked at me, they admired me, they liked me, and when they had a day off, all they could think about is, I want to be with you, Pacific. Shoot, I liked that. What's wrong with that? Women today complain, he doesn't want to spend any time with me. No, but you won't date a guy who wants to spend time with you, will you? You know what? They're mentally retarded today, man. I'm telling you. They complain about what they don't have, but yet don't pursue the ones that would give them everything that they're saying their man doesn't give them. That's why men are going their own way. This is Pacific, signing off. Bye-bye.